Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice. Because today is Tuesday. And that is another version of Terrible Tuesday, in which I will be reviewing a movie from the collection of movies my father left me. And I'm taking a movie off of Heroes of Horror collection, which is featuring Bela Lugosi and or Boris Karloff. This one is just Bela Lugosi. And this one is called The Corpse Vanishes. It's starring Bela Lugosi, Elizabeth Russell, and Luna Walters. A diabolical doctor, Lugosi, keeps his wife, Russell, forever young and beautiful with the glandular fluids of virgin brides. Will a suspicious reporter, Walters, be his next victim? Okay. And I read that. And it's about an hour long, and it's unrated. 1942. So basically, the movie starts out with a random man and woman, up at the altar getting married, and do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife, or do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband until death do you part? The woman says, I do, and then she just kind of passes out. And there's a doctor there, and he's just like, someone asks, he checks her out, and the doctor says, someone says, should we call an ambulance? And he says, no, call the coroner. It happens again. So it turns out there's 4 of these that have already happened. And then we switch to a female reporter who is talking to her editor, she's trying to get assigned to the case. And she realizes that every bride, each one of these missing, and you see someone taking the body of the second one, or both of them. And Bela Lugosi is one of the people taking it. But she had found out that all 4 of these missing women had an orchid with them that just didn't smell right, meaning the scent on it wasn't a normal orchid. But it turns out that each one of these orchids was not ordered by anybody in the wedding party. And she says, okay, this is a clue, and she wants to that's a clue. And she's like, okay, I'm going to go investigate this. I need to find out about these orchids. And so she it's a very rare orchid, and she's like, okay, who can I see? And they said, okay, there's Dr. Lorenz. He knows all about this stuff. He's the guy that created this strand of orchids. But what she doesn't know is he is the guy who's doing this, and what he's doing is he's getting these girls back to his place, and he's extracting stuff from this woman, and shooting it into his wife to keep them young, just like it says in the description. And she goes out to visit him in hopes, under the guise of getting an interview about these about his inventing these orchids and and of course he's really kind of strange, and his suspicions are aroused. Suspicions are aroused, and she's forced to stay there overnight with a guy that's a doctor who's helping out. And then all the machinations that are going on and everything. It all happens really quickly. But it's a okay movie. I mean, the thing with Bela Lugosi movies is when you start out playing Dracula. Now, I think that was the first role that he got that shot him to fame in America, the Western world. You have a tendency to be typecast, and that's what happened with him. So he's always playing these really kind of weird, creepy, scientists or doctors who have almost always the same mannerisms and the same type of speech. I know that his accent was not fake in that movie. That's why a lot of later movies, a lot of people played, vampires with that accent, because Bela Lugosi's accent, that was his real accent. And a lot of his mannerisms are the same throughout these movies. So it does have a tendency to be a little bit not distracting, but like, God, dude, you're playing the same character. But it never, you see him doing this stuff, and then, and how is she going to survive? And obviously, she's going to survive, but how she will figure it out and all that stuff. But you never find out how this works, or what he's actually doing. You see him just, let me pull the stuff out. They have to be virginal, and I guess he figures out they're virgins because they're getting married. I guess back then you were supposed to have been. That's just the way it was back then, supposedly. But it never explains why they had to be virgins, and why he's just picking, brides. But I guess that's not a super important thing. But it's just a quick, about a little over an hour movie. That's not super great, but not bad. It was enjoyable. I'll give it a 3.25 out of 5. Just under the guys that it's an enjoyable mid-range Bela Lugosi horror movie. So if you've got a little bit of time to kill, watch it, because it's not one of those, oh come on, this is horrible, and it's not so bad it's great. It's just like, okay, cool, I watched it, it was fun. And so what was it, 3.25 out of 5? And so anyway, let me know if you saw it and what you thought of it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, possibly share. Most of all, enjoy your old horror movies.